uh, superstructures, right? Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
And I also told you that I have left some question papers for practice under the principal parts of the ship. Sample paper 1, sample paper 2. Okay. Now, let's move on to general layout midship section profile views. What happens is different ships will look different. Now, it's not that we're just saying, it is like the basic profile views will be different. Like if you look at Roro ship, you see it's all the way like a big box floating. Then tankers, they look from long distance, they may look similar, but you come little closer, you realize there are no hatch covers. That means it is a tanker or LPG, LNGs, and all so on. Now, what we are looking at it is okay, this should be the best one, I think. We have got ships designed to carry different packaging, small volumes, this, that. So, general cargo ships, what happens is lots of small volumes, and you have to keep on packing it. It's like, a good idea will be. One second, did I start recording it? Yeah, it is recording. Good. The good idea will be that if you are packing your own bag when you are traveling, like suppose you are coming here, okay, so you have got you say for example, okay, you get uniforms here, but assuming you are carrying some clothes for sports, then you want to have 2 3 types of shoes and something, so each parcel is different. That is how we consider the cargo. Now, for that we have to accommodate everything. Like if you are putting some glass bottle there, or a say a fragile piece, what you will do, you will wrap it up nicely with something so that jolts will not break it. Same way we take care of loading cargo. Now, what used to happen earlier days, general cargo ships, like I will show you, used to have few passengers also, because air travels were not common. Then all types of things were there: liquid cargos, solid cargos, bulk cargos, package cargos, so on. So, and those days technology was such that the engine room was somewhere in the middle, and it's always very common thing you will find superstructure is on top of engine room. The reason being superstructure. The reason being under that you can't load anything. So why waste the space? So you put engine room there. Everybody was happy with the arrangement. And then what happened was we had to carry the shaft to connect it to the propeller. So you are carrying it. Now how will you pass it when you want to load cargo in those holes? So you had propeller shaft tunnel. It was like a cave, and the shaft used to go through it. Long back. Then over the years the designs changed, and we moved the engine room right aft, so that short staff, lesser friction, more efficiency. On top of it we made accommodation as it is. The triangulated areas and volumes are more difficult to load boxes because there will be a lot of space wasted. So everything moved backwards. Now what happens is, in the beginning we had different ideas change, the ships change. Now there are two views of the ship. One is from side view, that is profile view. Another view is if you see, look at it from forward or aft. That means it's like cutting bread, like a bread slice, with all the extensions as it is. Now these two views we are going to study. Now this is the beginning of your ship construction, but we are not looking at it from the angle of ship construction. That is what you will be studying in second semester. This semester, you're just going to get idea. General cargo ship. How does it look from side? How does it look from front? As a as if there are no side plating hiding what is inside. Means we have got cut off views. We are cut off and then we can see inside. Or you can say X-ray eyes. Hmm? There used to be, big racket once upon a time. X-ray glasses. There used to be scams when we were kids and all. X-ray glasses. All, youngsters used to go and buy it and hope it will work. For what purpose. Anyway. Now, how do we make ships? Now, there are few terms you must understand. Bottommost part of a ship in a cargo hold is going to take all the load on top of it. So it has to be strong enough. How do we define the strength of it? We call it load density. Means how many metric tons of weight you can store on top of it per square meter. How much load will come. That is load density. And one again, this is again I am repeating. Don't mix up ton because there are two tons we use. One is TONNE. TONNE means it's a weight. Right now we are referring to metric system, so we say metric ton. If you are referring to something else, then you may be calling it like pounds per something, but that is also going to be long ton, short ton. There are many, but they all are measures of weight. And then there is another one, okay, which is used for gross tonnage or net tonnage and all. That is 100 cubic feet. Okay, no longer it is true that way, but it is approximately 100 cubic feet. The ton in the cricket century. So the volume was divided by 100 and whatever was found was gross tonnage or net tonnage. It was once upon a time. Today it is not calculated. Today means long back the formulas have changed long ago. It is a function of some logarithms and all something. It's more complex functions which is only left for naval architects to work out. Okay. But that is gross ton. So it doesn't have unit. Whenever you hear term GRT, NRT, it is a wrong term because it used to be gross registered tonnage and net registered tonnage. It doesn't have unit. Then when the formula changed, it became gross tonnage, net tonnage. Registered word was removed. So today we will always talk like gross tonnage, net tonnage, but it doesn't have unit. That means that is sort of a volumetric ratio. Okay. Now, general cargo ships, they had the problem. To make base very strong is okay. But what about if I start putting boxes on top of it? If you have ever been with your mother or somebody to the market to buy vegetables, you see, we follow a sequence. The heavier ones we put on the bottom and then we put tomatoes and all on top. Otherwise, tomatoes will get crushed if you put it at the bottom with the potatoes and onions. So we are always careful to preserve in good condition. Same way, this problem comes on ships. If I put so many boxes on top, can the bottom box take the weight? So there is a restriction because otherwise your packing will have to be very strong. Excessively strong packing will cost extra money. So nobody is going to do that. So everybody tells you इसके ऊपर 5 boxes रखना ज़्यादा मत रखना. Fine. So you can put only 5 boxes, stack them up. So we created twin decks. Twin decks were created for this reason that you have got more space available to load the cargo from that much. Otherwise, you would have only one deck at the bottom and if top will go empty. So you want to fill up 100% volumetrically. That is the best profit. And those days, freight used to be on two rates, weight rate or volume rate. So it was decided some things will be volume rate, some things will be weight rate, like that. That has changed today. So now, when you put twin decks like this on sides, okay, like suppose if this is the base, so there are the twin deck here, and they were closing type, so that you load bottom first, then close it, then you put second one, close it, put the third one, or sides you could load earlier. Then what happens is You need, now they are hanging here, so you need support from here. So there were pillars. That is what we will see in the diagram. Like openings are there. Topmost one is weather tight, so that is hatch cover. Then what used to happen earlier days, we had to adjust the beams because beams give you the transfer strength. So beams were there which we had to adjust and lock them up. Then put some planks on top of it to close the twin decks. Then it changed because there were too many accidents with the planks. A lot of people died. Actually, I lost one very good friend of mine. We were cadets, but poor guy died like this. Then they made pontoons, steel pontoons. Okay, put the pontoons there so it is stronger. Means there will be no accidents and you can load better because it is stronger surface to load. Then they became hydraulic. Like just like a top hatch covers, they became hydraulic in the holds also. By the time these improvements took place, the ships sort of disappeared because every containers took over everything. Every country, no matter where it is always progressing. So you're not going to get any more places where you have to get derricks or something like that, or twin deckers and all. Rare, very rare. Okay, don't worry, don't worry. You join late or something, don't worry at all. Okay. See, I am aware of all the issues which you get with connectivity, computers. I am aware of them. Today, my skills have dropped down, but I understand the issues all right. So, you could join late or you drop out in the middle because of it. Don't worry. This is the reason I am recording it. On YouTube, my channel, you will find all the lectures recorded. Not each and every, but where you want to catch up because you missed out for some reason or something like that. So I keep it. Okay. Don't worry. Don't get tensed up unnecessarily. There are enough things to get tensed up about, but right now it's not your life to get tensed up. Okay. Because what happens additionally on general cargo ships, side frames, the side frames next to the ship side are exposed in the hold. The frames are there in the hold. Now, if I want to look box cargoes, they are not going to go between the frames. Like suppose if it is one frame here, one here, one here. So in between there is space. So that is going to go waste. Perfectly fine. Let it go waste. But additional problems. The ships are made out of metal which are good conductors of heat or cold. Okay. Whereas the cargo packing may be different. So it is possible they are in gunny bags. So if there is any condensation, because ship is going to go through water, water may be colder, there will be dew point temperature. Dew point temperature, you remember in monsoon how the glasses get fogged of your car or buses and all, and how we draw pictures and all. That is condensation. So that is what happens. So you don't want damage. So what happens? We put some sort of wooden gratings, to cover up the frames, which are removable, to cover up the frames. And then we measure the dimensions and we say for loading bale cargo, bale means something like a box shape, okay, something like. But bale is basically softer things. Wooden ones you will call it casing. The bale is like cotton bales. So that is where the bale capacity came. So if I take the measurements or in between the frames when I have got wooden gratings and other things and then I measure it, so I get a capacity. Suppose that capacity is say 10,000 cubic meters. So I know I can load 10,000 cubic meters of cargo, but that is always not possible because there will be broken storage. So I know the storage. What is storage factor? Storage factor is how many tons in 1 cubic meter. Tons in the weight. How many tons in 1 cubic meter is the storage factor. Now there is a bale storage factor, which theoretically is like this. I measure perfect measurements, I do and I say, but actually practically loading, there may be small gaps here and there, so you get a broken storage. So broken storage is allowed as per experience. That means suppose the storage factor is 2 metric tons. Okay, sorry, I told you ulta, 2 cubic meters per metric ton. Okay, so many cubic meters per metric ton, so 2, but actually it may work out 2.1. But I know how many tons will go in the hold because there are 10,000 cubic meters and 2. I divide it and I know how many tons will go in. Now, that is bale capacity. Then there was somebody wants to load the bulk cargoes like grain and all. So those ships used to carry everything. So they had one more capacity which was called grain capacity because grain can travel behind the framing and it can occupy full, more or less. So there is something called grain capacity, which will be always higher than the bale capacity in cubic meters, always higher. So in this example, we took 10,000 cubic meters was the bale capacity. So the grain capacity may be 12,000 cubic meters is a grain capacity. There also, because of certain places, there is natural angle of repose, what we call natural angle. When you pour anything, it goes at a natural angle. So there can be small gaps here and there where cargo doesn't reach. So there is a small factor again, that is again based on experience and based on the particular ship, by statistics. If that guy says say 2 means it is going to work on 2.05. You will know with experience, but that is the capacity. So grain capacity, bale capacity. Then what happens is there is a sparring, like I told you, grating. So there is a sparring of wood because you don't want cargo to come in touch with the metal. A lot of cargoes should never come in touch with the metal because of variety of damages. The condensation damage can be there, there can be staining because of corrosion and so on. So this sparring was put on sides. So behind that there was on top of the frames were covered up, and they were not totally like this. They were like open tanks, so the air can go through. So it allowed ventilation also. Then on the bottom also there is a wooden covering. Why? Because the fuel oil tank can get heated up. Because you heat up fuel oil, it is cooled down by those days. Today you don't have fuel in double bottom, but those days we had fuel in double bottom. So it can get heated up, so it must be insulated, so cargo will not get damaged. It has happened when we got rid of all these things, sparrings and wooden one, because maintenance was too expensive. But I know a case on one ship. Somebody made a mistake. They loaded on general cargo ship cocoa butter in lower hold next to engine room, that also. So it got heated up and it melted. So cargo melted completely. Okay, cocoa butter from which you make couple of things, which we eat regularly, chocolates and all. Okay, now what happens is that was the idea we used to have, and then wherever there was a metal surface, we used to temporarily lay wooden planks. That was called dunnage. Dunnage. Okay, that is called dunnage. Those are the cheap wooden ones which we used to put it there in a longitudinal earthward shape, and carpenter used to nail them down. Sort of nailing means between the planks, so that whole thing will become a unit and will not move. And we used to load cargo on top of it. Now, general cargo ships normally do not have ballast passages. Why? Because I discharge something, I load something, I discharge cargo and load cargo every port. Okay, because there are agents who find cargo for me and everything is ready. So most of the time ship is always full. Yes, ship may get empty. Ship may get empty in a port, but she is not going to sail out in empty condition. She will be loading cargo again. Same thing happens with container ships. While discharging, things will come off, ship will come up like this, and then they will find more containers loaded and it's back to where it started. Now, this is the typical view, okay, profile view of a cargo ship. Now, what I have shown here, okay, we know this is forecastle here, foremast, forepeak tank, bow, this area is a bow, bulbous bow. This is our collision bulkhead. Then this is athwartship bulkhead number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember one thing, most important, double bottoms are always at the bottom of cargo holds. Double bottoms. And double bottom is not there forward of the collision bulkhead or in engine room. Engine room also doesn't have double bottoms, because they use these spaces for they have to inspect and they're working, and also there is no double bottom in engine room, there is no double bottom in forepeak tank. Collision bulkhead is from main deck to the bottom of the ship, that is keel. Same way all athwartship bulkheads go top to bottom. Okay, they don't stop at double bottom, they go through double bottom. Now you will notice the crane is put on top of this. Why? For many reasons. One thing is this is a stronger area because there is a support from bottom. Then it is in between the hatch covers so that there is no obstruction on hatch cover opening for quick discharging and loading. The bigger the thing, faster it is. No, this is the crane. This is a crane housing, and this is a crane jib, what we call it, jib. And then there is a hook and all. This is hatch cover. This is upper deck, main deck, weather deck, whatever you call it. Then these are athwartship bulkheads. Now we have shown a twin deck here. We have shown only one twin deck. Ship can have one twin deck, ship can have two twin decks, depending on how ship has been designed or modified to carry cargoes on a specific route. If you are going to a place where you have got only light cargoes, then you will say, okay, let me have little more space available, so more flexibility to load and so on. Then this is engine room. I have not shown the rudder and all, otherwise you can go through the same parts of the ship. Here I have not shown it as a poop deck, I have just shown it as a raised deck here. Accommodation, this is part of accommodation, this is part of accommodation, means both are superstructures here. This is also can be called as the housing here, deck houses can be called superstructures. Then there is a funnel pipe, I have showed you separately. This is funnel and there is the exhaust pipe. Now, many ships, this is extended all the way up to here. Then you call it a poop deck. If it is one deck above the stern part, then it is poop deck. Up to this clear? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, very good. Now, we are looking at a cross section here. This is the half view. This is showing you if I am looking from aft. This is the port side of the ship. Now, we know there is a hatch opening and hatch combing. The vertical part is called hatch combing. And there is a support, because what happens when you are welding it, you want to give strength. So you weld it like this, a support member. That is called stay. S-T-A-Y. Stay. So these are hatch combing stays. Then there is a bulwark, which prevents anybody from falling overboard in rough weather or something. It will allow you to catch and hold on. They also have got stays, they are called bulwark stays. Okay. So these angular things, support members, are called stays. Then this is upper deck. We know that. Then the topmost strake, we'll be doing it afterwards, but topmost strake is shear strake. I told you the ship is made up out of the strips of metal going in a longitudinal direction, that is 4.5 direction. and they are joined to form the body of the ship, hull of the ship. So this is the topmost one, shear string. Then they are joined by something, a bracket like this. This is called knee, like your knee. Okay. Then this part we know it is a twin deck. This is twin deck. This is the exposed framing in the holds. So what happens is on top of this, like this, we put some sort of framing, but it's not solid like this. It has got the slits, that is the wooden one, which are removable. Same way in the lower hold, we do the same thing. So frames are there. Then you have got the wooden things which I have mentioned here. Okay, wooden covering to provide ventilation passage. It is called sparring, and there is also called ceiling. Ceiling is, interestingly, floor ceiling is the base part. Okay, that is here. So I told you this is basically issue of vocabulary. Okay, now since this much part is hanging here, we give a support. These are circular pillars. Those are the support pillars. Now, of course, they will be spaced along the length based on wherever you need. You put a pillar, but it also causes obstruction for loading. So, modern ships, you don't see these things. The twin deck is up, lower one is a lower hold, and the total thing is called hold. Hold ceiling. Obviously, when we say ceiling, we look up, but here, hold ceiling is this. This wooden thing is called hold ceiling. The wooden planks are embedded on the steel surface. Why? Because underneath there is a double bottom tank, and those days we used to carry fuel in double bottom tank. So it was getting heated up, and that heat will come and scorch the cargo. So there was a wood hold ceiling. Okay, see, funny, no? When we say ceiling, here we are looking at the bottom part. Then there is a tank top. Now what happens here? We don't have any hold ceiling or wooden things. So what here we used to use the dunnage wood. That means we used to get the planks. We used to lay the planks in 4.5 direction at first shape, take the nails, hammer them in. So we created something like this surface all the way up to here. So that cargo shall not come in contact with metal. That was the principle. Now many ships on the sides, they used to have wooden one only. Means sort of wooden boards were there fixed. So if they're fixed, very good. But then you can remove it to go inside because this was bilges. Bilges means where all the dirty water, anything that leaks in will collect. Then tank side bracket, because this is the tank. So this was the tank side bracket. We joined this framing with the tanks. And you remember this bilge radius, or we also call it bilge strake. Now we enter the double bottom tanks. What are these? These are the longitudinal frames. They are like, in the house you have got columns and beams. So they are like something like beams. But they go in 4.5 direction. Because ships are long, you have to support them, otherwise they will break. So this is there. Now there is a short, like depth one, and then you have got a full depth one. Full depth one is called girder. Otherwise, what we have done, we have got a frame on top, frame on the bottom, and middle part is empty. But you can't do it all the time. So in between, you still need to support it. So that is where you have got a girder. Why intercoastal? When you are crossing things, one of the two has to give in. No? Either I make a cut in this one, or I have to make cut in this one. Right? Cut in this one. So one of them is continuous, other one is cut. So the one which is continuous is called intercoastal. The one that is, if you don't remember it also is okay. Okay, don't get too much tensed up. I just, since we are on the topic, I just mentioned something extra. Don't worry so much about it. Now, as usual, we have another thing. The longitudinal transfers and all, and then there are some of them are solid. The solid wall-like things are called floors. Otherwise, we try to save the weight by using like this type of arrangement part. But and then there will be sideways also arrangements. But when you have got a full thing, solid one, okay, that is called floor. Okay, I told you the vocabulary is strange. The vertical thing is floor, which is used in the tank. If it is used anywhere else, it is bulkhead. Now, similarly, this hole is there. Similarly, holes are cut in solid floors. Okay, floors. There are holes cut. Those are called lightning holes. That means by reducing metal weight without compromising on the strength. That is where we make the holes. According to the sizes are calculated and also you don't lose the strength, but you reduce the weight of the ship. So those are lightning holes. Then bottom there are small holes. Small like this type. This like my hand, like this. They are for drain holes, for draining the water towards the pump suction. They are also called rat holes, both ways. Similarly, there are holes here on top, cut, that is for allowing air to pass through and without locking up any air in any place. Just remember that much is good enough. Inner bottom longitudinals. Longitudinal means the ones which run fore and aft. And floors are the ones which run sideways. Actually, floors also run fore and aft, but right now just assume that. Now the center part. This is the old-fashioned ship. So there is a continuous center girder. Girder is something you will look up in on YouTube or something, or net Google. You will get some shapes. Girder is a strength member, and you build up things around it. Like for example, when you make buildings, there are two types of constructions. Normal buildings, okay, small bungalows and all. One is load bearing walls. That means they just make the walls and then put some beams and all and they cover it up, but the load is taken by the walls. Other ones are the tall buildings and all. You will find with any construction going on, they make framing first, sort of, columns and beams, and then they start closing it. So something similar, because finally construction is a construction. Now, get idea about this example. Okay, I just put it to give you good idea about how what are twin decks and how the cargo is loaded. This hook is from one crane. This is called pellet. You have got these boxes put on pellets and now you are going to load it. So what you do is you lower it down. Then they will be pulled inside because this cannot go on sides. No? Then they will be pulled inside. At times we used to put even a block here and used to land it down. Then we used to tie up the side of it and take this hook and pass the wire like this through a pulley and bring it, and then we used to pull it to move them sideways in the center. Once upon a time, today nobody will do something like that, madness. But just imagine how to push cargo in the wings. These are called wings of the side because they're sides. You have to push the cargo in. Then you fill it up completely. On top of this, if you have got some light cargo, you'll fill it up. Then last is you fill up the center because that way you have got a landing area now. If you're loading in the wings, you need a landing area for the cargo. Then you start loading here till it fills up completely up to here. Then we will close this. We will close this and follow the same process. Load it here, push it in the sides till it's finished both the sides, then you fill up in the middle, close it again. That is how the loading was done. Okay, don't worry about the parts and all because this is ancient ship, but get idea. This is the what this securing. You see something is tied up and all the cargo is tied down. That is called lashing. No lashing, you know only this lashing, right? Hammering up somebody. Okay, this is more modern picture which you are expected to draw. This is more modern picture which you are expected to draw. Cross section, normally cross sections come. Okay. Unless it is somebody gives you row shape or something, then may ask profile view, that is side view. Hatch cover is on top. There is a bulwark here and there is upper deck here. Then we have got a twin deck. Twin deck opening is there, which is shown dotted line because this is covered up in the end. Then this particular drawing shows you vegetable oil tanks or deep tanks. This is the tank. This. And these spaces are cofferdam. Now I have mentioned it earlier. What is cofferdam? Space intentionally kept empty. Intentionally. For inspection purpose. If you have got some other space which remains empty because the design is such that something is just lying empty, what can't do anything. That is void space. Both are empty. Void space is also empty. Cofferdam is also empty. But cofferdam, I kept it empty because I wanted this empty space for inspection. All the liquid tanks will need inspection spaces. So that is where you got cofferdam. They're not really broad, just like this, something like this, you can say less than 2 meters around that. So the person can go and walk, and then you hide frames inside. If you can hide framing inside because as it is, you cannot load in that. Yes, that is the reason you have got cofferdam in the middle. So if it leaks here, it will collect here. It will not go in this. But suppose if all the three were the tanks and if one leaks, it will contaminate another one. In this case, there is an empty area around the tank. So even if it leaks, it will leak in cofferdam. Then you have got a double bottom tank. Bilge keel. You should show bilge keels, bilge track in a drawing. And now we come towards the old design of a ship. Okay, general cargo ship. They used to carry guns because these ships were designed during Second World War and they used to carry some soldiers to protect themselves from the enemy attacks because everybody wanted to sink each other's ships. So you'll find guns here, guns here, guns here. So they had. Basically, when you look at the ship, 4-pick tank forward, jackstaff is here. Those days it was fashionable to load. Then they had cargo hold number 1, which had deep tank number 1 and 2. Deep tank number 1 and 2 were here. Cargo hold is here. This is lower hold. And this is twin deck. Number 1 twin deck. Similar number 2, number 3. Then double bottom tanks under. See, double bottom tanks are up to here. Then after peak tank. Number 5 hold twin deck. Number 4 hold twin deck is there. Lower hold is there. And this is shaft tunnel. Okay, this is the shaft tunnel. See, so much of volume was made into cave so that you can follow the shaft from here to the propeller. So this is shaft tunnel. Older ships, modern ships, you are not going to show. Modern ship, you are going to show the top one. Then we had deck houses. The crew used to live here. Forward had already finished by Second World War, and officers and all. But you will notice it's not really tall. Not required because those days everything was like slow moving. Everything was nobody was loading much on deck. If you get cargo, it's fine. Otherwise, never mind. This is derrick system. The derricks. And these are antennas. We used to work on WT and RT and all. So we had long antennas, wire antennas, which none of you have probably seen. But antennas used to be there, which we used to hoist them at sea, and otherwise in port we used to lower it, otherwise you will not be able to work the cargo. And these were the mast. Then one of them was a main mast. Depending. Now this is not necessarily this height. Sometimes it was lower height and then main mast was this one. Whichever was a main mast, we hoist flag from there. Okay. And then here I did not show you. This is number 3 deep tank. See, this deep tank is going from shaft tunnel, probably not shaft tunnel, it must be on the sides, from double bottom to the twin deck height. So it was vertical. So there is no rule exactly what is a deep tank or vegetable oil tank. It is a tank created inside where you can inspect all the sites and which carries the liquid cargoes. Now, general cargo ship means I am not the type of person generally to ask this question because it has become outdated. But people are quite fond of general cargo ships. Like especially people of my age and all. We all started careers with general cargo ships. So a lot of people have got emotional issues. Hmm? So this is finishing our profile view and the cross section view of general cargo ship. Okay, this is the profile view. You should be able to draw it and name the major parts like twin deck, lower hold, etc. This is more detailed view. You should be able to draw this also, but normally what happens is you may have a couple of words thrown in will always help you. But since you have not studied construction, this is unfair to ask this. But you should know basic parts: hatch combing, upper deck, bulwark, shear strake, frame. It's good enough. Normally, you are expected to name at least 10 parts. 10 parts. So that even if there are 5 marks, half mark each. Now, any doubts? We are almost finishing anyway. Means time is finishing. Any doubts?